Honorable colleagues, please may we be upstanding as we usher in our amiable director, digital director, director par excellence, in the person of Hajia Abraham Nimat. You are highly welcome, ma'am. Please, we want to take a national anthem. We'll take the first stanza, then the second stanza as our opening prayers. 1, 2, go. Arise, compatriots, Nigerians all obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor for heroes shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. The second stanza now as our opening prayers. Let's go 1, 2. God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth and truth to know, in love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. Great love unites us to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. God bless Nigeria. Will we be seated? Mr. Adenuga, you are highly welcome, sir. Next to Mr. Adenuga is the HOD CSED in the person of Mr. Berry. You are highly welcome. We will not also forget to mention the HOD of Library, Hajia Mohammed. You are highly welcome, ma'am. Going further, I want to introduce the resource person. She's here with her team. She's going to carry on this presentation in conjunction with another partner. So we have 2 presenters, though they are still from the same organization, in the person of Mrs. Dooshima Dapo-Oyewole. Please stand up for recognition. This she's going to do in conjunction with Mr. Stephen Alaikwe. Mr. Stephen Alaikwe, stand up for recognition. You can see their team members all in their uniform. Cybersecurity is the business of all. Cybercrime is like a pandemic that can hit anyone unaware. Nobody is free. As far as you are technologically inclined, you might say, oh, I don't have much to do with technology. You use phone, you communicate, you send text messages, and stuff like that. So it is business of all. Their mission of being here today is to create cyber awareness for us and the measures to take when you and I fall cyber victims. So Mrs. Dooshima, the facilitator, is of ISACA. ISACA means Information System Audit and Control Association. She is the liaison officer of that association. Alongside with her team, will be here today to give us all we need to know concerning cybercrime. Please, at this juncture, I would like to call on our director for her opening remarks. Please, ma'am, may you have the floor for your opening remarks.
Thank you so much. Before I make my remark, I want to make a remark. Before I make a remark on ISACA, I want to make a remark on the IRC. I'm surprised that this hall is not full to the brim, and I'm not happy about that. The MC has just said it, that until we become a victim, before we actually know the seriousness of why we are here today. It's like some of us feel, oh, it's an internal seminar, I can come. It's compulsory. Every internal seminar is compulsory. At least if I am the one that gives the approval for that, you must be here. Because whatever you are doing for ERC, you being here is also part of your duty as a staff of the ERC. And I don't think anybody in ERC is busier than me. I don't think so, because I oversee the A division. And if I happen to take time out of my busy schedule to be in attendance, it shows the seriousness and that. Whatever the job that person is doing, this is also part of the. Please, HOD PPRS, please make sure everybody is in attendance when there is a program like this. The office has to be short time, because it's going to be a short time. It's not going to take more than 1 hour. The facilitators have told me, or the presenters have told me, they will not take much of that time. But this is part of the training, and we as ERC, we are resourceful center. So if you can't give what you don't have, we train others. And if we don't have the training, how do we train others? So that's why it's important for everybody. We use phone everything. These days you see text messages going around. Don't pick numbers from plus so. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. So we need to know how we can avoid, how we can secure our even if it's our phone or our being on internet, because whether you like it or not, all of us are involved in internet. And if you don't, some things you may not even know. You might just click on something and you'll be shocked what will happen to your system. People hack into emails. I've had friends they've hacked into their emails and they sent me email to say that I should send them money. But because I know things like that happen, if you don't know, and this is a very close friend that just relocated to the US. Of course, I would have thought she's in trouble and she really needed my assistance, and I should. So because I had her number, I didn't respond. I decided to call her, and she said, I've just started, a friend just called me, and I've just started sending text messages to all my friends, my contacts, so that they don't fall victim. So sometimes some of this is just like if somebody hack into your child's phone and your child number or whatever, sending you a message, you respond as a parent. So we really need to take some of these things serious. There is no knowledge that is lost. We keep learning every day. And as teachers and as resourceful persons, as trainers that we are, the ERC is meant to train others in schools. So we should take every knowledge very seriously. I want to personally welcome you, and on behalf of my management team and the ERC, welcome the team from ISACA. I started calling them ISACA, and I'm happy they are also. I was going to ask them if it's right to call them ISACA. And when I had the MC, I said, oh, I'm asleep. That shows it's allowed. So I want to welcome the ISACA team, and I believe at the end of the day, we will be better informed as far as cybercrime is all about cybersecurity, what we should do when we encounter such problem or we are faced with such issues. So without wasting more time, you are all welcome, and to my very resourceful staff, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for that wonderful enlightenment. On this note, I will call on our resource person to have the floor. I've earlier introduced her. Madam Dooshima, please you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Haji Aluma, for the support and welcoming us warmly to the association. Good morning, everyone. As the MC has said, my name is Dooshima Dapo-Oyewole, and I'm on the board for ISACA Abuja Chapter. We're here today to raise some cybersecurity awareness for your organization. You are actually taking part in a global event by being here today. The entire month of October is dedicated to cybersecurity awareness all around the world. So many chapters and organizations like yourselves are having training such as this throughout the month of October. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce my team that's here with me today. I have my colleague and fellow board member, Mr. Stephen Alakwe. He's our certifications director and a data privacy expert. With helping me with my slides today, I have Kayode. Kayode is a cybersecurity student from the Nigerian Army University U in Borno State. At the back, I have Jonathan. Jonathan is a cybersecurity student as well from Bayero University in Kano. Amara is a data analyst as well as Queen. So they'll be helping me out today as we go through our presentation. ISACA, that stands for Information Systems Audit and Control Association. And what we are passionate about is advancing the best talents, expertise in IT, audit, governance, risk, privacy, and cybersecurity. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our association, what we do. We are open to all, so if you are interested in joining us, please speak to me afterwards. And then we're going to let you know why we're so passionate about the education sector in Nigeria. As the MC said, most of the times when people think about cybersecurity, we think of somebody wearing all black, they are sitting in the corner where there's no light. But cybersecurity is all of us, everyone with their beautiful turbans, their kaftans, with our traditional names. We are all part of cybersecurity. So the most important thing I want us to take away from this is that cybersecurity is not for people in NSA, it's not for the engineers, it's not for people in oil and gas, it's for education as well. And your support and awareness is very critical to making sure that the industry thrives. There are 5 reasons that cybercriminals tend to target education institutions. We'll go through that. And we'll also give you some tips that will help you. They're very simple tips. The thing about cybersecurity is it's the simplest things that really matter in keeping you and your organization safe. If you have any questions, my colleagues are passing around some notebooks so you can write them down. We'll take questions at the end of the session. I know a lot of things about cybersecurity, but I don't know everything, so we'll learn together. And I definitely don't know who's going to win the elections next year, so please don't ask me that. And then of course, we have an event coming up later on this month, which we will tell you a bit more about. Next slide. Okay, so ISACA is actually a 50-year-old organization. It started in the 60s in the US, and currently we have over 225 chapters across the world and 165,000 members. Here in Abuja, we have about 400 members, and we have been active and engaging with the technology industry in Abuja for about the past 15 years, since 2006. Our mission, go back one slide, Kayode. is to promote the education of individuals for the improvement and development of their capabilities and competencies when it comes to the field of information systems, assurance, security, governance, risk management, and why we are here today, cybersecurity. Next slide. So just you can see some of the numbers. We're quite a large association and we're committed to impacting our community. Next slide. Some of our membership benefits, if you are interested and decide to join us, we have lots of discounts and learning materials for our members. We do a lot of career mentorships. We have a lot of resources and guides that will help you to keep your organization safe. Next slide. Our vision for the next 5 to 10 years is about pursuing digital trust. And what that means is that we want to help people to create confidence in the people, which is yourselves, the processes, which are your ways of working in this association, and the technology that you use. We want people to feel confident that ERC is doing everything to make sure that students are safe in school, their data is protected, and you yourselves as well, your information is safe with your employer. Next slide. ISACA also issues out certifications for various areas in the technology industry. When you say technology, it's such a wide field. So these are some of our top certifications. When you sort of rate globally the top IT certifications that will earn you the most money, ISACA has 3 certifications in that top 10 list in the world. So pursuing an ISACA certification is a very, very valuable venture. Next slide. Recently, we have launched some new certifications which are targeted for young professionals. And when we say young professionals, it covers the students that we take care of at ERC, so students from secondary school. And these 5 certificates, we have computing, network and infrastructure, cybersecurity fundamentals, software development, and data science. Students can begin to attend these certifications that will help them to stand out in the marketplace. And this is some of what we'll be taking around to your schools in the FCT next week. ISACA, as I mentioned, is passionate about impacting our community, so we also have a foundation called the One in Tech Foundation. The One in Tech Foundation provides scholarships and funding for events such as this. So we're quite grateful to have their support, so we can provide all of this to you and your students at no charge and no cost to Director, because I'm sure she has a lot of bills on her table, so we're happy to be able to provide this. Okay, so why the education sector is a target for cyber criminals? Does anyone have any idea? Why do you think cyber criminals are interested in the education sector?
Because youths are vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable to cyber crimes and anything tech. So that's the reason why they are the targets. Okay.
Thank you so much.
That with even the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has brought about more of e-resources and all that, children or students or whatever, the education sector is now more exposed to technology, usage of technology in teaching and all that. And of course, there's the tendency that a lot of garbaging will be there, that these children and even the trainers themselves, the teachers themselves, will come across, and they need to know how to handle some of those things. That's my own belief anyway.
You see, I love this your director very much because she makes my work so easy. By the time you see the next slide, you think I've spoken to her about my presentation, but I promise you she hasn't said it.
Thank you. To add to what our deputy director said, I remember an incident when I was in school. group of students hacked into the results that are supposed to be, the semester result that have not been released. And in short, the whole of the faculty of that year, their result was cancelled. They have to have extra. So cyber is.
Wow. Everyone, all these answers, does anyone want to contribute anything else before I move on? Okay, let's take one more.
Young minds that are dynamic in nature, in the sense that they want everything quick. That quick syndrome makes them to explore. So in that exploration, everything goes. And that's why you discover that the issue of internet fraud, Yahoo is much more to the quick syndrome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My colleagues and our digital director shared are absolutely right. And directors hit it on the head. The biggest reason right now that the education sector is very attractive to cyber criminals is the pivot to e-learning following COVID-19. As you can see, several organizations, Microsoft, the FBI, which is the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States, they've been tracking data at various data points about attacks on the industry. And currently, the education industry is the most affected industry by cybercrime right now. Unfortunately, this doesn't get the publicity that it deserves, because sometimes you think, okay, cyber criminals, they just want to hack CBN, they want to, hack some organizations that are more attractive, but the most affected industry right now is education, and that is obviously accelerated by the pivot to e-learning following the COVID-19 pandemic. As you already said, children are online. I have a 5-year-old son. He knows how to use my laptop better than I do. Sometimes he teaches me things, and I'm like, how do you learn that? These kids are digital natives, so what we are learning, the sort of came factory set with it already. And online learning, although it's an amazing way to accelerate and provide education, it also provides many opportunities for cyber criminals to take advantage of weak systems. Next slide. So, essentially, in summary, the 4 key reasons are attacks in the education sector. They're very low risk and high reward. So, if a cyber criminal wants to hack a bank, if a cyber criminal wants to hack, perhaps a government agency like NIDA, they have to arrange themselves very well before they venture on such, a task. Some might say it's a suicide mission, but when it comes to organizations in the education sector, it is really a low-risk venture and the rewards are very high. One of the reasons that is so is that in the education sector, there tends to be limited funding and resources. You need to improve your facilities, you need to care for the students as thorough needs, you need to buy uniforms, you need to upgrade textbooks. Somebody brings you a cybersecurity bill. When you look at your priorities, where do you want to start from? Work for fintech companies, obviously because the salary, the benefits are much more attractive than working in the education sector. So you don't tend to see as many experienced cybersecurity professionals in this sector. The 4th reason, which Director also mentioned, the gentleman, I guess, that's going to help us with some power, is that in the education sector, you have voluminous amounts of sensitive data. When you think about the average student, so one of my extended family members recently wrote her WAEC and JAM exams. I think we had to use her BVN at one point. We have to upload her picture, we have to upload her full name, we have to upload her date of birth. If a cyber criminal has access to all this information, they can have a field day. And yourselves as well as staff of institutions like this, your organization has your BVN, they have your address, they have your credentials, they know where you went to school. If you worked in another ministry, you worked in a different agency, we can paint a full picture of your life, and where you're going. And they most likely also know when you're going to retire, so they'll be calculating your pension pension and retirement benefits for you. So when you look at the amount of data that a cyber criminal can access, it's a whole lot, and it doesn't take much to be able to access that. So the main cybersecurity threats that you face in the education sector, that teachers face, there are 5 simple things. Number one, most important, is phishing. What is phishing? Phishing are attacks that leverage social engineering by exploiting human emotion. Our digital director mentioned she got an email from her friend and immediately you panicked. My friend is in trouble, I need to help her. So I would encourage all of us to have a video once we have the electricity back on. If you ever get a message of any form that makes you panic, just wait. Wait a few hours, maybe wait till the next day to respond. Because what cyber criminals do is they want to get that emotion, especially women. Maybe you see missed call from your child's hospital. Please call this number, please click this link. Your child is going to miss the registration window. You know, their messages are always so urgent. You know, or the government is distributing 10,000 naira. Click this link now to get your own benefits. I think I'm going to miss my portion of the national cake. No. So if you ever get a message, an email, or a phone call that is urging you to act on emotions, rash emotions, pause, process it, think about it. Okay, if the government wants to give out money, is this really the method that they will give to me? If my friend is in trouble, is this really the way she will contact me? Is this really how this will go? And a lot of times, you know, now they're so sophisticated, they make their messages and their emails look very legitimate. You'll see something like, a friend of mine got an email from Instagram, act now, if not, you're going to lose access to your Instagram account in the next 72 hours. And she runs her business on Instagram, she buys and she sells. So her first instinct was, oh my God, my business, my customers, let me click the link. But she paused, she took her time, and by the time she looked through it, the email actually came from a fake account. Some fake accounts usually have emails, 899, several numbers, and hashtags, so you'll be able to know that this is a fake organization. Or if you receive a phone call, now they can wire the calls. We all have Truecaller. You'll see Access Bank is calling me, an agency is calling me. Tell them, okay, let me drop and call you back. If it's really the organization and you call them back, you hear the appropriate response from when you call an organization, especially if it's a bank. Your bank will never call you and ask for information over the phone. They will never ask you for information via email. So most of the times if you see those, I believe, by now we've received so many of them. They tell you, oh, I'm a prince from Angola, or I'm a prince from somewhere, I have 100 million in central bank, please give me your account number so that I can get this out of the system. It's absolutely not true. Let's take the video from the CyberSafe Foundation just to show you how easy it is to...
I tell stories and help you understand cyber hygiene best practices in the most relatable way possible. My name is Confidence Baby, aka the Senior. In today's video, I'll be sharing 5 tips to get your identity stolen. You have me right though. But if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button now, for more videos like this. Our parents said we can be anyone we want to be. Identity thieves have taken it a step further. Are you not me? You will better understand when I fill you in on today's gist. That's how I was walking down the streets of LinkedIn one day when Miss T reached out to me saying that someone had just stolen her identity. I was posting at her on Instagram. She was distressed because this person was collecting money from people in her game. I'm just thinking about her case here makes me understand the saying that Wahala be like bicycle because they have the stars. So are you wondering how to get your identity stolen as well? Here are 5 top tips I have for you. 1. If your phone or wallet gets stolen, just buy a new one. My brethren, what's lost there is lost that cannot be gotten back. So just get the replacement and move on with your life. How much is it that said? Don't worry about your ID cards, Joe. The thieves don't have any use for them. And you don't, in fact, they can't even use lose your ATM card because you don't know your PIN, abi? So move on. Tip 2, links are meant to be clicked. But if you see any email or text message with a link, click on it. Find out what is there. If it's a gift, go ahead and claim it. You don't need to bother about the source. It is just a link, so click on it. Tip 3, fill out your personal or sensitive FOC. Because this national cake, it's all of us to share it. We all need to share it. So grab your share when the opportunity presents itself. Once you see anything that has the government agency's name or logo on it, just fill out your details. You don't know which one will favor you, Abby. You don't need to compare if it's fake or real. Fill it out. After all, what do you have to lose? It's not like you are paying money for it, Abby. Tip 4, be popular. You heard me right, just be popular. The more popular you are, the better. Identity thieves make you very popular. Tip 5, it is public Wi-Fi, and it is free. Hey, connect, sharp. Who in this world says no to free Wi-Fi? Well, definitely not me. Once you see free public Wi-Fi, connect your device quickly. In fact, that is the best time to do some online shopping sharp. Comes with great negative implications I'm sure no one wants to bear. So here are a few tips to help prevent it. 1. Use the security features on your device. Passcodes, fingerprint scanners, passwords. And ensure to put a lock on your SIM card as well. Check the description box for a video on how to do that. 2. Don't trust links in unsolicited digital communication, especially if the link is shortened. Like this one. I have a video teaching how to deal with links. Check the description box. I've also dropped the link there as well for you. 3. Always confirm if the form or website is legit by simply googling the name of the organization involved. If the form is not on the official website, it most likely isn't legit. 4. In the event that you lose your ID card or your ATM card maybe, please take action immediately. My people say, Kia. Call your bank to block the ATM card and report your ID card as stolen to the institution that issued it. 5. Don't share or access personal or valuable data over public Wi-Fi, except you're connected to a VPN. 6. Ensure that you turn two-factor authentication on your social media accounts and report anybody pretending to be you on social media. Tell your friends and get your families well involved to report it so somebody doesn't cash out on top of your head. So identity thieves, every information matters. So don't hand over valuable information to them on a platter of gold. Shine your eye, make you no go for maga.